Hello everyone, I'm Sofi and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And previously I've shared about Sangha, who is a community of people living together, sharing the same goal, and in this case, the study and practice of Buddha's teachings towards gaining enlightenment. These are the people who have given up their living the normal lives, of working, having family and leisurely enjoyment, so that they focus on their studies and practice of the Dharma, and to teach and to guide the lay people in their spiritual paths. Whatever they receive in donations are channeled towards benefiting others. So as such, as to the question of, is it okay to take from the Sangha, which is today's topic, the answer is a big no. One of our refuge vows is to avoid taking from what is not given to us. It is also often translated as stealing. Remember, when you borrow something without permission and not returning what you borrowed is also considered stealing. Stealing usually arises from greed, or jealousy or desire, and also the delusive sense of entitlement. You would have thought that stealing from the Sangha, what is there to steal? Well, after reading, on this topic, I found out that there are actually many ways that we never thought of consciously, but constitute stealing from the Sangha. Well, first of all, food. There is this is something very basic, that not many people notice, especially those in charge of the kitchen. But the thing is, we must practice mindfulness that even though we are in charge of the kitchen, food does not belong to us, but to the community. If anything was taken without permission, they act against, it's actually every member of the community, so as such, the karma is quite heavy. Here in Kechara, those who take meals are supposed to write their names in the logbook and to pay at the end of the week or the month or whatever the arrangement is. And so in not doing so, or in not writing their names, with the purpose of not having to pay, well, that it will be constitute an act of stealing. That is just an example. Okay, now offerings to the Sangha. This offering should be distributed, to the community, and should not be kept for oneself, especially, money, which should be used to bring benefit and not be kept for personal use. We have to be very mindful, of what has or has not been given permission to be taken, on what we should replace, after taking, or in the sense borrowing, whether in kind or in monetary sense. When you think of it, have you used the phone, the photocopier, the internet, or the stationery, in a Buddhist center or monastery, or even a nunnery, for your own use? Have you taken medication from the public aid box? Have you used the electricity, the water, the facilities of the Sangha? The more you think of it, the list grows. So we have to be very mindful, And then the time, okay, this one, for the time, spent on teaching us, guiding us. If we do not put the guidance, into practice and constantly require time spent on us to improve, then, well, it is as good as stealing, because the time, that cannot be regained, so it's already in the past. So this is also kind of a form of stealing. And because the time, that they could actually use, to maybe guide another member who also need the guidance, and maybe that member actually put it into practice, so then it's beneficial, and they could actually have put that time into maybe activities to improve the living conditions of the community, such as cleaning, repairing, and so forth. Or maybe they could have put it into activities that will benefit and advance the Dharma, and so forth. So a lot of time wasted, that on us, if we do not, use the guidance, properly and put it into practice. Okay, this is an excerpt from Geshe Lundrup Sopa. It says, but stealing from the Sangha is heavier, and you cannot purify that karma merely by repaying the thing itself. You will have to experience the result of that action, which will be rebirth in some form of hell. If you steal articles that are required for nourishment of the Sangha, you'll be reborn in the deepest hot hell. If you steal other items, you'll be born in one of the 16 neighboring hells. Not only will they be born into one of the great hells and suffer there for a long time, but even they are finally free of hell, they will be reborn blind with no hands or feet, possibly as some kind of animals or a hungry ghost, in a dry, barren wilderness where there is little to eat and it's difficult to survive. Very serious. So these articles that, the articles that I have read, for this sharing, all pointed towards the same, which are the hells of suffering for those who steal from the Sangha. So, as such, it is very serious. So we really need to practice mindfulness. Sangha is actually our refuge jewel, and we should really have the utmost respect, without any negative motivations or actions towards the Sangha. We gain blessings, from our sponsorships or donations or volunteering. So be mindful not to collect, negative karma instead. To counter taking from the Sangha or anyone for the matter, we should practice generosity. In giving, we overcome the greed, the jealousy, the desire, or the sense of entitlement, which could be the cause of our stealing. So refrain from stealing, and you will gain the reputation, of being someone safe or trustworthy, to be with. And also at the same time, you gain contentment, which is the satisfaction that brings the peace of our mind. Remember, if you yourself do not like people taking things from you without your permission, or borrowing without returning them, then why would you do it to others? Especially to a Sangha who depends on donations or sponsorship. And usually, these are channeled towards benefiting others. So think about that. And with that, I will end my short sharing today. So now we'll move on to the questions. From Yi Yin Teo, what is a great hell? A great hell is where constantly suffering. There's actually the hot hells and the cold hells, where you constantly feel the burnings. Wherever your skin touches, there will be a burning, and then also burning within. But this one is actually written in the Lamrim, and I can actually I'll go to the Lamrim, and then I'll copy that excerpt and post it here later. And from Pastor Adeline, how do we avoid taking from the Sangha? Well, we have to be mindful with everything that we do. The main thing is to remember, whether the things that you are using or the things that you are taking, whether it's from the Sangha. I mean, if you're in the monastery or the community, then it will probably belong to them. And depending on, if you're on, well, in Kachara, we some of them receive stipend, so in the sense maybe you can contribute something in return for the use. So you just have to differentiate whether you're using it for the work towards helping the Sangha, or is it for your own use. So the distinguish is there. And from Pastor Shin, if someone is ignorant that they are taking from the Sangha, do they collect negative karma? They do not collect negative karma, because they are ignorant of the fact. And but the thing is, it would be good that if the Dharma brother or sisters who knows this is to inform them, so that they are aware, because they do not collect fully. But this I think I should find out more, and to put it in the reply section later. But it's good to notify them, you know, so that it doesn't continue. From Pastor Okay, Pastor Shin had actually added on to her question, if someone is ignorant and didn't know they were taking from the Sangha, does the person still accumulate negative karma? So this one I will answer you in later when I've confirmed the answer. From Chris Chong, is there any practices that we can purify this specific type of stealing from Sangha karma? As mentioned, no. Even though you purify, you know, but you still need to go to the hell to suffer the you know, as mentioned, you know, in all the actually in every article that I've read, you know, it says that you need to suffer going to the hells, you know, even though, you know, you did purification practice. So based on your this is from Joy. Based on your research, those who stole from the Sangha has no chance of purifying their karma, even if the apply of 4 opponent powers. Is that for sure? From the articles that I've read, it was mentioned that no, even if you've done purification practices, you still have to suffer the hells. So, but the thing is, maybe, you know, I'll look into and research. I mean, do more of the reading, and maybe find out the answer. You know, if it's different, then I'll post the reply there. If the Sangha kindly offers something to you and we take it, is it also considered as taking from the Sangha? Since they give it to you, it will not be considered as taking from the Sangha. But the thing is, from this aspect, you should actually check whether do you have need for the thing, and if you don't, then it's better you don't take it, you know, because it could go to someone else who is in need of it. And from Pastor Adeline, volunteer are receiving a stipend for the work they do in a spiritual community, and as you have said, they should contribute back. Isn't their work a form of contribution? If not, then what should they contribute towards? Also, why should they receive stipends since they are required to contribute back? A stipend is actually because they have because they have given up their worldly career, and they still need some form of living, you know, that they need to, you know, like buy their daily use, or some of the things that they need, you know. And as such, you know, they do receive stipend. But the thing is, if they are able, then, you know, it will be good that because we do not know if we have actually committed the act of stealing, in the sense that we take things and all that. So in practice, I mean, it's good that, you know, maybe you can contribute something back. But of course, I mean, you know, it's not necessary. Okay. Hi, Irene. When are you going to come back here? Okay. From Pastor Adeline, Rinpoche likes to give a lot of gifts to people. Should people refuse them? As you have said, if they do not need it, they shouldn't take it. As far as I know, Rinpoche gives gifts for spiritual reasons, and normally to help people in their spiritual growth. Of course, this is different when you're receiving it from Rinpoche, because you're receiving the blessings, and also, Rinpoche knows whether that person needs it or not. Rinpoche usually will be very generous and will give something that benefits that person in their spiritual path. And it really well, I don't know. I mean, it is in terms of Rinpoche, that one of course is different. But whereas you say that to receive like normal things, like maybe it was mentioned, maybe it was made available. I mean, in the articles, some of them gave the example, like maybe it was made available, like the pens, the paper, and all that, for use, general use. And so as such, you have that permission, and you shouldn't like take more than what you need to use, you see, in that aspect, you see. And from Joy come, does stealing only applies to an object, something physical, or is how about stealing people's time, energy, friendship, create causes for people not to trust us? Are those considered stealing too? Yeah, as I mentioned before, one of the points was also stealing time. So yes, as such, it would be because the time given to you, if you are not using it with in good, how do you say, it would be because the time would be lost, in a sense you are stealing time from them as well. And from Pastor Adeline, you're contradicting yourself. Are you saying the Sangha who wish to give and not Rinpoche, therefore their gifts should not be received? I don't know, because according to the articles that I've read of yes, I would say that I am contradicting myself. So actually it would be right to say that yes, you can receive things from the Sangha, especially like from Rinpoche, where you receive blessings, from with the gifts. Okay, from Jason. A person doing illegal business for income, and the income go for contribution Dharma works, will he collect bad karma? Actually, when you're doing illegal business and the income, according to the practice, it should not actually be contributed towards Buddhist activities. But I've heard Rinpoche mention it before, that because these people need the blessings, they already have that bad karma to be in illegal business, and they do need the blessings, and as such, actually, let me confirm this, and then I'll reply. It will be better, so that I do not give you the wrong views. So, is there any more questions? So just remember, the Sangha is actually one of the three jewels, and whatever we do, we should always be mindful of our actions. Our Buddhist practice is actually one of the main things is being mindful, so that we do not cause harm or do not create any sufferings for others. So it's best to practice generosity, which is the counterdote for antidote for stealing, because stealing basically stems from our negative um, emotions, or traits. So practice generosity. That will be the safest. And I see there's no more questions. And as such, I will close this session off with a completion dedication in Tibetan. And thank you. Jangyo Senjo Rinpoche, Make Panam Geishi, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu, Toni Tonga Rinpoche, Make Panam Geishi, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu. Daso jini sapagi wadi dandan drowa gunakan padang jepa jesun losan trapai tamping imporin tu sa se sho ke wa kuntu yang dalam ada drame joki panano jojeng sadam langi yak terazone doje chang ngapang tu so ke wadi yudo dalam masang yodrione drowa jika malupa de sala go pasho joki ke posong kapa josu nampa pewala ke kisah masih wadang tunggi malu sawesho dadang sungi dusundan drewa songi latene ke wa losan trapai tanpa yuri Riva Yushi ni modele sendele ni migunya dele shi ni sintato dele pel kunju songi jingiro kunju songi modroso kunju songi trasi sho jesu lama kusen rap ting ching nyam katri ni jojo ke padang lo sam tempe dro mi sop songi dro mun sa tatu ni yushi gangwe rawe ko we shin kam den bendan de o ma jo ni chen zi wan teng sing get so I shape shi de badu den yushi Home Tomping Otro Malupa, then the Dala Salduso, Kodan Den Palong Jotnam, Kepa Soshi Shukten Cell. Thank you. See you tomorrow.